Hi everyone, so I got a camera, as you can clearly see. It's not very good quality, but it's from the pound shop for £3, so fuck it, it works. But, so basically, I just wanted to kind of do a video talking about the new Doctor Who episodes. So I've been a fan of Doctor Who for a while. I've been watching it pretty much since I was born, because the new Who released the same year I was born, so obviously my mum, who was already a Doctor Who fan before that, I've been brought up on Doctor Who. And I just thought I wanted to give my thoughts onto the new episodes and things like that. So the first episode is called The Star Beast, and it's the first ever episode we've had. Well, not ever, but first episode we've had in literally a decade of Catherine Tate as Donna Noble, David Tennant as the Doctor, and fucking Russell T Davies as the as the writer and director. And well, I don't think he directed them, but he wrote them, and you can tell. So The Star Beast is really good. I really enjoyed it. I did have a few problems, as I do with most Doctor Who episodes. It's not a perfect show, but if you're expecting a perfect show, then you're looking in the wrong place, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's just an overall really fun opener. So the episode kind of starts with the Doctor being taken somewhere by his TARDIS, and he bumps into Donna. She doesn't remember who he is, and he basically keeps running into her. Donna has now had a child called Rose, who's trans, by the way, so shout queen. And they are they're called Rose, which is obviously a bit funny because of Rose as in the companion. It's the joke kind of going on there. He keeps hearing this Rose and realizes it's not Rose. But they find this alien called the Meep, who turns out to be a really, really evil dictator who wants to take over London. And Donna ends up remembering everything, but manages to not die because of Rose's birth, which is really cool. I love that. I think that's such a sick way to bring Donna back and not have her die, but so she can remember everything. It's very smart. A lot of people had a problem with the trans mentions in it. So, for example, there's a scene where the Doctor's talking to the Meat before we find out he's evil, and they're he uses he pronouns, and I think Rose goes, how do you know it's a he? Why don't you and he's like, oh, you're right, that's so wrong of me, I should ask.
She's looking after Wilf. Brilliant.
Brilliant.
Meep.
Yes, the Meep. I promise I can help him get home, and then you'll never see me again.
You're assuming he as a pronoun.
True. Yes, sorry, good point. Are you he or she or they?
My chosen pronoun is the definite article. I am always the Meep.
Oh, I do that. But you were shot down. Who wants you dead?
And then the Meep is I don't have... What's a pronoun? That sounds stupid. I am Beat the Meep. And a lot of people had trouble with that. I don't mind it. I didn't think it needed to be there, but it was a throwaway line. It's not like they kept bringing it up. And that's the same with Rose being non-binary. They literally got a fucking trans actor. What do you expect? Could you imagine they got a trans actor who goes by they, them, and goes, nope, you're going to go by she, her. That's just not happening, is it? Also, another thing with the Meep thing, a lot of people were going on about how not a lot of people, sorry, I saw this one guy explaining that the way he sees the Meep not kind of understanding the pronouns thing is that whatever planet he's from or whatever galaxy he's from doesn't have pronouns. Because that seems to be a very human thing. It's not all aliens across Doctor Who that have had pronouns. So that explains that a little bit, I guess, if that helps you, stop being a bit of an idiot. But yeah, solid episode, really good intro for this 3-part. Now let's go into the second episode. So the second episode is called Wild Blue Yonder. Donna ends up going in the TARDIS and she accidentally spills her coffee at the end of the first episode onto it. And they end up on this weird spaceship and they're trying to figure out what's going on. Everything seems alive but dead, and it's really weird. It's very, very good at like building up the tenseness, basically, of it. And they explore it, blah, 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 and they end up finding these copies of them, but they're not quite correct. So there's little things like their arms are extending way past their limb, like the normal limb size, and their jaw keys going, like really long, and it's quite creepy. I love it. It's great. I'm just not very used to creepy monsters after the last few like seasons we've had. But yeah, so that's what happens there. They end up finding a way to kill them. I really liked how the Doctor ends up taking the wrong Donna at first. I think that's a really, really fun idea, you know, like showing that everyone doesn't know everyone perfectly. I don't know, I just thought it was quite funny that he picked like the wrong one by accident. And they end up meeting Wilfred at the end of the second episode. I really enjoyed it. I feel like this could have been saved for the next season, though, with Ncuti Gatwa. It didn't feel like it was a second episode of a 60th anniversary special. It just felt like a Monster of the Week episode, like typical Doctor Who. And I don't like that. It's a good episode, don't get me wrong. It's really good. I loved it a lot. But there was just, it didn't need to be in the 60th anniversary. That was such a pointless episode. We didn't learn anything new. And we already know that the toy maker was coming up because he'd been heavily advertised. So I was really annoyed. Second episode into this 60th anniversary 3-parter, and we still haven't seen anything about the fucking toy maker yet. That really pissed me off, especially because I'm a massive Neil Patrick Harris fan. And I'm being basically led on to believe that he's going to be the big bad of this 3-part. He's not. He's the big bad of the last episode. Pointless. Good episode, but pointless. And finally, we're on to the third final episode, and it is called The Giggle. And finally, we get to meet the fucking toy maker. So, in 1925, we're in Soho, and the toy maker has made a toy. And an inventor, John Logie I don't know how you say that, Baird, maybe?
Bed.
Buys this doll, and it ends up being the first thing that's ever televised. When Doctor and Donna go back to like the modern day, 2023, everything's going haywire. Everyone's running amok, and everyone thinks they're right, and everyone's arguing and fighting, and the Doctor finds out that it's because of the toy maker. So they end up They chase after it. Well, they go to Soho to try and see him in 1925, and that's when it clicks for the Doctor. That's when he realises who the toy maker is. And that scene. There's a scene in one of my favourite Doctor Who episodes, and it's from Peter Capaldi's Doctor. It's the episode where he finally finds out that Missy is the Master. When we are watching that scene for the first time, and Missy says this.
Who are you?
Oh, you know who I am. I'm Missy.
Who's Missy?
Please try to keep up. Short for mistress. Well, couldn't very well keep calling myself the Master. Now, could I?
That face on the Doctor, that fear, knowing who that is, recreated perfectly here. I felt so much tenseness just purely on the fact that the Doctor was terrified of the toy maker. He was terrified what the toy maker could do.
How do you two know each other?
Donna, go back to the TARDIS. Huh? Go back to the TARDIS.
You never tell me to do that.
Oh, but he is recognizing me.
Are you not gepleased, Herr Doctor? To see me again after so many years.
Who is he?
The toy maker.
And then they go into this long thing of like trying to run after the toy maker, and they get separated at a certain point. The bit where Donna gets separated and the doll starts talking to her. Oh, that was really creepy, and I loved it. That's exactly the creepiness that I want from this show, because I feel like we kind of lost that when Matt Smith's Doctor came along. I mean, a little bit of David Tennant's too at nearer the end, like Martha kind of David Tennant's era. But it was like from there onwards, it just didn't get any creepy. Yeah, it was cool, a lot of the episodes and stuff we'd get throughout the series, but none of them were creepy. And I'm so glad that like Russell T Davies managed to bring that back. But they end up managing to find him. They go to the modern world, and the Doctor, they have like this thing, this game. The Doctor wins, and they're on a one. They're doing like a best out of 3, because the toy maker, basically his rules is that he has to play by the rules of a game. The only thing he can't do is cheat. That is the only thing. So he goes, right, 3rd game, I challenge you to a fight, or I challenge you to a game. And the toy maker ends up killing or shooting the 14th Doctor, only for it to be a bit of a fake out. They end up pulling on the Doctor, and suddenly 2 come out. There's the 14th Doctor as himself, and then there's the 15th Doctor now here. That was, oh my god, so cool. They called it By Generation, which is like, I love that. That's such a sick idea. And so the 2 Doctors end up playing a game of catch, and they beat the toy maker. The 14th Doctor's wish is for the toy maker to be banished from the universe forever. Obviously, they do like a little thing where his golden tooth is like stolen by someone. And so they take that. And so we're obviously going to see him again, which I'm very happy about because I love Neil Patrick Harris. And the 15th Doctor makes a wish, makes his like, not his wish, but like makes his reward rather, that the 14th Doctor gets to keep her version of the TARDIS, so that he can go out whenever he wants. Which is great, because that means also that while we have the 15th Doctor's thing, they could technically still do a thing with David Tennant's Doctor, which would be really cool. Anyway, and yeah, so the Doctor 14th goes off to live a life with Donna and her family, and the 15th Doctor will return on the 25th of December. This episode was really good. I don't think I enjoyed it as much as I was expecting to, but Neil Patrick Harris definitely made it for me, because basically one of my favourite shows of all fucking time is a series of unfortunate events. I love that show so much. Neil Patrick Harris makes that show perfect. It's a 5 out of 5. There's nothing wrong with that show. And if you say otherwise, you're just wrong. But yeah, it's really, really, really fun, really good. And they definitely watch that and then put him as the toy maker, because when we meet the toy maker, he puts on accents, he puts on all these campy clothes, and it's just so Count Olaf. So Count Olaf. If you watch this episode and you liked the toy maker, you are going to fall in love with a series of unfortunate events. I'm telling you. But yeah, I think overall, my main problem with the 60th anniversary specials is that they didn't really feel like specials. The final one kind of did, but it also felt really rushed. Like, they only had an hour to introduce him and then get him over and done with. I think what they should have done is, I think they should have done an entire season with this Doctor as the special. Because how special would that be? An entire season with an old Doctor as the new Doctor. That would have been really sick. So you could have started with the Star Beast, as usual. You could have even done that second episode as the second episode. And then you could have had little bits plopping in and out every now and then to eventually become this overall arcing story that ends with the Giggle. Because they could have done it the same way they did the Mistress, or like Missy, where they kept having her show up in certain places, or they kept having Easter eggs or references to this woman, to the point where eventually we get to the final 2 episodes of that season, or I think it was 2, it might have been 3, I don't know, and we get to see the finale of the Mistress trying to fuck the Doctor over. How sick would that have been for the Toymaker? Would have made him so much more of a threat, but he just didn't feel like a threat. Yeah, he felt like he was gonna wreak havoc, but he didn't feel like he was gonna cause the end of the world. And that's what I wanted out of this. I wanted an Avengers level threat episode, because that's what makes a lot of these big special ones so special. Look at the Day of the Doctor. That feels like an end of the world threat, and it makes it, when you meet the War Doctor and go see all he's gone through, it kind of like, I don't know, it does something special to your heart that this just doesn't end up doing for me. So as much as I enjoyed it, I feel like it could have been done better, and I'm very disappointed with that. But all of my love goes to Russell T Davies, and I'm just, yeah, that's my overall opinion of it. This was a long video, I do realise that, I'm so sorry, but if you enjoyed, please do comment down in below what you thought of each episode. Also, give me a rating out of 5 for each episode. I'm going to say, for the first episode, the Star Beast, probably a 4.5, it was good. Wild Blue Yonder, probably a 3.5, it was about average. And then the Giggle, I'd probably say a 4. It was good. Wasn't amazing, but it was good. So yeah, that's my whole ranking of each episode. And I really enjoy doing these types of things, just rambling on, like waffling about an episode I've watched of something. So what I could either do is, when the actual series for the 15th Doctor comes out, I can watch each episode and do a thing on each episode. Or I could do a series review. So just put it all into one massive clump of a video. Probably filmed like over periods of time until it's eventually all out, but I could do that. So if you subscribe and you want to see that, please let me know which one you would probably prefer to watch. But anyway, that's everything, and I will see you guys later. Bye!